Hey, everybody, welcome to the show with Scotty and TJ and Paul's ego. All right.
When my dick is bouncing off of your tonsils, don't forget to cup the ball.
Cup the ball.
Oh, yes, Manson. Anything you say, Manson.
So Paul's on this me blowing Manson kick.
Suck! Oh, yeah.
The dick!
I forgot about that. Thank you for...
Suck the dick, TJ!
Thank you for reminding me of that, Manson. I forgot about that, Manson. I'm real stuck on the, Manson. But Scotty remembers the... It's time to suck, motherfucker!
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Manson.
I mean,
can we just do a whole flash ride about us like goofing on you for how you would blow Manson and singing like Manson blowjob
I
songs?
guess if you can fucking stretch it into 2 hours, I mean, sure.
You know who you're talking to?
I mean, I'll just fucking kind of like kick back and let you guys have at it, and that's easier for me anyway. I don't have to talk about the news or
we'll have a
anything.
fucking full album by the end of the fucking 2 hours.
Yeah, a whole Manson cover album of new TJ blowing Manson songs.
Yeah, sounds great. I think that's actually gonna be the concept of the next album. So,
Okay, well, or we can just do a flash ride. You know what I mean?
I guess we can if you guys really want. I mean, I'm kind of sold at this point on the sucking Manson's dick angle.
By the way, I hope one of your recordings works because my stoned ass just started the recording. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm fucked.
Damn, we might lose. Okay, so TJ, we might lose that whole great Manson bit if it's all on your shoulders.
I mean, it's all. I mean, as far as I could tell, it's fine on my end. So yeah.
Well, fingers crossed.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are great. Anyway, so
yeah, you guys are fucking great.
Professional streamers, folks.
We're great at this. We're so good after all these years. Anyway, the U.S. Marine Corps will no longer allow racist Confederate flags at their bases.
I'm not even sure why there are Confederate flags flying at Marine Corps bases as is. So this is pretty fucking like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, remember this army that we fought that one time and like defeated? Let's fly their flag. Like what?
Yeah, let's fly their flag over our own bases.
Yeah, it's like, did they really lose at that point?
Hey, you guys remember all like the British flags were flying, like the Union Jack? We're flying that still, remember?
Yeah, like even after we defeated the British, it's like, yeah, but come on, guys.
Our heritage.
It's still our heritage.
A lot of the original colonists were from Great Britain. I mean, come on.
I mean, the sad thing is, if I hung a fucking rebel flag outside my house, in Louisiana, I probably wouldn't get any shit. If I hung a British flag out there, I think people would probably get mad.
Look at this one dark-skinned dude on the end that looks like he just desperately wants to kill all the rest of these dudes.
I doubt it, honestly.
You think he's one of these black dudes that's like, hell yeah, the South shall rise again.
I've seen
Put
them.
me in chains.
I've seen plenty of them.
I know they exist. I just...
Now, they don't go so far as to say, put me in chains, but, they might as well be doing that.
Put me back on the plantation already. What you waiting for?
Let me tell you, just being the area we're from, there's this big... And I mean big, burly black dude. And he would go around all the Mardi Gras parades with a Confederate flag cape. Like he basically treated it as a cape. I mean, what are you going to say?
Yeah, what can you say?
That's what I'm saying. Like he did it. He didn't give a shit. He's like, yep. It's like, you're like, all right.
You don't see too many Jews going around like, yeah, Nazis, woo! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all right. Whatever.
It's like, it's like sometimes it's like, yeah, it's like if a Jewish dude wants to wear a Nazi flag around, it's like, I mean, I guess I don't really get it, but
yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I think it should have been outlawed long ago.
Y'all, listen. It ain't about you guys. You just don't even understand what that flag represents, man. It's not about
Northern aggression.
It's about the heritage, not the hate. It's about state rights. It's about the war of Northern aggression. It's about, do you want Washington coming down telling you how to run your state? What you're allowed to do in your state?
No, I don't.
Damn right you don't. And that's all that flag represents. Ain't even have nothing to do with slavery.
It's about being like proud of where you're from, right?
Yeah. What are they going to do next? Ban state pride? Come on.
You know, Paul, you've talked fondly of Madeira many times.
Uh-huh.
Should people in the South not be able to talk fondly about the South?
I mean, dude, people in fucking Madeira would drive around with, fucking Confederate flags hanging off the back of their trucks and bumper stickers and shit.
Case in point, Paul.
It's just
Case is closed.
It might as well just
Even
be called.
people in
It
your
might as well
great
just be
state of
called
California.
It might as well just be called the redneck flag. I mean, honestly.
No, it really is.
On Friday evening, the U.S. Marine Corps released guidelines banning the Confederate flag at any of its domestic or foreign military installations, including bases, training, operating, and storage facilities. In an image explaining the new guidelines published on Twitter, the USMC wrote, "The Confederate battle flag has all too often been co-opted by violent extremists and racist groups." Co-opted by them? That was the fucking origin.
What a joke.
Whose divisive beliefs have no place in our Corps. Our history as a nation and events like the violence in Charlottesville in 2017 highlight the divisiveness the use of the Confederate battle flag has had in our society. The present threat, this presents a threat to our core values. The USMC now forbids any blah, 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 blah.
Now that this current generation has officially had the National Guard used against them, I have a feeling that this is part of that. Like the fucking armed services have an optics problem now with the current generation because... You know, the fact that American soldiers are on our soil,
waving the flag of an oppositional army.
Right.
I mean,
right. It's just absurd.
I mean, if you saw American soldiers with like an Israeli flag or like
a Saudi flag.
Yeah, like you'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean?
Why is the seal of the House of Saud flying over our fucking tanks? But a rebel flag, no, it's fine.
False equivalency.
Is it? Okay.
It is because them other nations. This was another nation of people who want to secede from the tyrannical government of the United States of America, TJ. And you know that's what happened.
We all got a little rebel in us, you know what I mean?
Look,
we
TJ,
all got a little
this is the heritage of this country, TJ. You want to deny being from Louisiana like you is.
Heritage.
You want to deny that that's important to people. You just want to take that away from them, TJ. And now you want the Marines. You want to bend over for a bunch of liberals, TJ? What's next, TJ? You want to give transgendered people the same rights as us? You want? TJ, look, they already got them gays voting or whatever they're doing, marrying animals. What's next, TJ? I ask you, what's next?
What's next is no more Confederate flag in the U.S. Marine Corps.
That's how the world's done then.
Yeah. And then they go on to say it's a symbol.
I'm
of hate
fine with private fucking rednecks if they want to slap one of these on their truck. I'm not going to go snatch it off their fucking truck.
People can fly whatever fucking retarded flag they want. I don't give a shit. I mean, that's a private citizen. It's a private matter.
It's your choice. But like, I don't think that this flag should not be flying over any state or federal public building or on any military vehicle or piece of military materiel in this fucking country. And I think that argument makes itself.
Yeah, I mean, like this
was a rebel faction of the United States that at one point tried to break away from the United States to enshrine and codify a system of fucking chattel slavery.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know.
This is not like, look,
I don't know. I realize
they were Americans and there's look, they were Americans. We have to make some concessions. These people were at one point Americans,
but they were trying very desperately not to be. So
right, but at some point they weren't. Like at the time they flew that flag, they were not Americans anymore. They were self-described separatists and rebels that had established their own fucking state in the South and waged war on the United States of America. So let's make no bones about it. Your heritage is fine. Fly this shit at your fucking picnics. Slap it on the bumper of your fucking white pickup truck that's indistinguishable from every other white pickup truck that you redneck fucks drive. But keep it off the state house. Keep it off the fucking tanks. Obviously.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why that's wrong.
Can they ban truck nuts too? Because I can guarantee you.
How long has it been since you've even seen truck nuts?
Paul, you're going too far, man.
I haven't seen truck nuts in like 5 years or
It
some
falls
shit.
out of his fucking mind, TJ. First,
I mean,
he
for
wants
a
to
while
ban the
they were
Confederate
everywhere,
flag.
but like, you know, like
First he
that
wants to ban the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
Now he wants to ban truck nuts. What's next, Paul? What's next on your fucking liberal agenda?
I have
I got a long list. I'll be honest with you.
I haven't seen any truck
Get rid
nuts,
of
though.
diesels.
You know those stickers that people put up, and Scotty, if you have one of these, I apologize. I'm not trying to offend. Those stickers people put up of their families, where it's like, it's like a little cartoon on the back of their car, and it's like, here's daddy, here's mommy, here's the 3 kids and the doggy.
Yeah,
I ban those fucking things too. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything about your life when I'm driving around.
Dear God,
dude,
I'm behind you in traffic. I don't want to know.
No, I mean, like, okay, so I mean, like, every once in a while, I mean, I think bumper stickers in general are kind of tacky and stuff, but like, you know, you got a piece of shit car, you want to slap an opinion on it, okay. But man, you ever been behind one of those cars of someone who just went fucking like way crazy overboard with their bumper stickers, and they just like entire back of their car is like a pamphlet of their beliefs and shit?
There's 2. Yeah, I was gonna say there's 2 types of that, and I dislike one, and I really like another.
Okay.
One of them is the I'm super political and I've got a million Trump stickers or whatever the fuck it is, a million anti-abortion stickers.
Yeah.
Right.
The other one is the guy that doesn't give a fuck. He's got the smiley face with the X's for eyes, smoking a joint. He's got like a Jamaican flag. He's got like, a Bob Marley sticker. He's got like a 9 Inch Nails sticker that's half peeled off. He's got like an old tool. You know what I mean? Just like an amalgamation of crazy crap because he doesn't give a fuck about his car anymore.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Yeah, that guy's pretty cool, actually.
That dude's cool.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me ask you about this
Bart
guy,
Simpson.
though. Let me ask you about this guy. So there's a guy, and I think there's a dude around here somewhere. And you see his car sometimes, but he's got
I've seen him. I looked him up on the fucking road.
You talking about the weeb, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that guy?
Oh, the Weebmobile, dude.
The Weebmobile, yeah.
Oh yeah, we've all seen it, dude. We've all fucking seen it.
Yeah, I saw him. I actually looked it up and found out it's a meme around here.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, how could it not be?
Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, there's a weeb guy.
I've seen that dude, and he pretty much looks exactly.
But how
like
do you feel about some dude who does that shit?
Personally,
who cares?
Okay, hold on. Here, yeah, that's basically where I stand.
I mean, I understand who cares on like he has the right to do it kind of level. Right. I'm talking about how your personal feelings of like
cringe.
Yeah, you know,
ultimate fucking. Oh my god, I'm glad I'm not that guy. I don't drive that car. Cringe. Because like if he was in like Washington or some more leftist liberal kind of place, it would be one thing. But the fact that he's driving that fucking thing around down here in the deepest of the deep South. Ultimate dodeca fucking cringe.
Doesn't it kind of give him a little bit of fucking balls?
Yeah,
points,
I'll say this. I know for a fact the dumb, ignorant fucking rednecks that live around here are definitely triggered by what that weird Japanese, like whatever, like their stupid opinion is. I know it triggers them, so I'm in favor of it.
I love it. I wouldn't want to. I would never tell them to stop it, but cringe.
Cringe.
I mean, yeah, is it cringe? Yes.
Is it really cringy?
But is it making them cringe as
I don't
well?
care what.
Yes.
I don't care what atmosphere you're in. Putting a bunch of anime shit on your car, like having it like professionally painted on your car. I don't care where you are. That's fucking cringe to me.
You know when that works? I'll tell you when. There's one time where that will work and get you a ton of like a fucking street cred. If you're gonna go to a bunch of anime conventions, and I got the Weebmobile.
If you go, I mean,
so
yeah,
that's the
obviously
opposite.
there. You know, sure. I mean, obviously.
That's just because that dude's lifestyle goes around the country from anime convention. I guess with COVID-19,
I'm sure he probably does go to. I mean, like if he's got it on his car, he's probably going to these fucking conventions.
There you go, TJ. He's living his fucking best life. He's living the American dream.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't have a problem with it. You know,
sounds like you do, TJ. Sounds like you have someone exercising their free right of expression.
I don't have any problem with his right to do it.
Your jimmies, TJ, because you're not willing to be as open as that guy.
All right,
you just admire his openness, TJ, and that you cannot actually emulate that.
No, he's not willing to be that. Have his butthole as open as that guy.
Ooh, that's a spicy meme there, Paul. Spicy.
Had to throw a little spice.
All right.
You got to throw a little spice sometimes. What a weird conversation that we had on that one.
It doesn't matter.
Where's this one going to lead us?
I don't know, but we got to kind of vamp because we don't have as many stories as we might usually do. Somehow, with all this shit going on in the world, there's a slow news day nonetheless.
Fair enough.
Bubba Wallace wants NASCAR to ban the Confederate flag. Okay. So
everyone wants this flag banned. I'm not understanding it. I don't understand why these people. I can't breathe. Black Lives Matter. What's this even about? Do you guys even? Look, I try not to watch the news. I have no idea what's going on with this. I don't know why anyone would be offended by the Confederate flag. We've talked about it endlessly.
All right, so Darrell Bubba Wallace Jr., the only African-American driver in NASCAR's top series, called on the Stock Car Racing Association to ban Confederate flags at its events. No one should feel uncomfortable when they come to NASCAR race. It starts with Confederate flags. Wallace told CNN's Don Lemon on Monday, "Get them out of here. That they have no place for them." Man, if there's not a place for Confederate flags at NASCAR,
I mean, there's no.
Then there really is no safe haven for the Confederate flag anymore.
I mean, look,
if it gets to that point where even NASCAR is like, "All right, y'all, we done had a good run with our damn, but we can't do it no more."
I don't think. I mean, like, if he means like at the actual events, like as far
that's
as
what it
like
sounds
the
like he's
people
saying.
attending them, the people attending the events are not going to have anything with the Confederate flag.
That's what it sounds like he's advocating. Let me read more to see if we can get more context. Wallace wore a T-shirt that says "I can't breathe. Black Lives Matter" to Sunday's race at Atlanta Motor Speedway to acknowledge the country's social unrest. During warm-up laps, the 40 cars pulled to a stop in front of the empty grandstands and shut off their engines. Afterward, NASCAR President Steve Phelps delivered a message over the radio set. What did he say? He said, "Our country is in pain, and people are justifiably angry, demanding to be heard," Phelps said, as some drivers wiped away tears or held T-shirts that said "Black Lives Matter." Man, this is NASCAR, dude. Oh, man.
NASCAR is getting woke.
This has got to hurt for some people out there in the world. Man.
Oh, man. This is just going to, like, the hillbillies are just going to have another thing to list off that used to be good.
There's a deep debate in me.
Where's the hell NASCAR? You can
I remember a time when Dale Earnhardt flew the Confederate flag on his car. You know, it's going to happen.
I mean, he said the black community and all people of color have suffered in our country. It has taken far too long for us to hear their demands for change. Our sport must do better. Our country. NASCAR.
Awesome.
You rednecks don't even fucking have NASCAR anymore.
Dude, fuck the rednecks. This is awesome.
I might start watching fucking NASCAR at this point.
I love this shit.
I love how they just spit on
it all away from them.
Oh, yeah. Just take it. Oh, your country. Oh, you nice country you have here. Be a shame if someone was to take it from you. You stupid fucking redneck pieces of shit.
I mean, can we all agree
I love
NASCAR
it.
fucking
I love
sucks anyway?
It does suck. But you know what? I'll watch it anyway. I'll fucking pretend I care about them driving around in a circle.
Maybe
just
if
to
black
take
people,
it from
like
the
more
rednecks,
black
man.
people get involved, maybe if more black people get involved, NASCAR won't suck anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe like basketball, they're just naturally better at NASCAR as well.
All right. Wallace and other drivers, such as
did I do a racist? If I did a racism,
I think you
apologize.
did a soft racism there. I don't know.
It was not my intention to do
it. You were racist against
edgy,
white
Paul.
people, so it's okay.
Okay.
I think it's actually racist against
Is it
black
racist
people to say that they're
to
like,
say that black people are better at basketball on the average than white people are?
I think it is. I don't know. We have to ask. We need to consult the Council of Black People.
I don't know if your skin color determines if you're better at basketball or not.
I mean, like, I feel like if you just look at like any random black dude and be like, yeah, you're good at basketball because you're black. I think that's not the same, right? I mean, that would be kind of racist, but just saying like black people on average are better at basketball than white people.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
But
if it's
are
true
they like?
I guess if I was using it in a way that like insinuated that that's all black people are good at, or all they're good for.
Right.
I'm just acknowledging what has been, in my experience, the truth.
All they're good for.
Now, maybe there's some kind of racial injustice behind the fact that there's mostly black dudes in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, like, it could be that,
maybe
there's because they view that as like a ticket out of the ghetto or some shit.
Right. But I assume that like if there's some fucking corn husk eating white dude from Wisconsin or something that can dunk like Shaq or whatever, he's probably getting signed. And they do sign big old white dudes. And then you guys remember Yao Ming back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
The big giant Chinese guy. I mean, like, yeah, that's my argument is that like when these dudes do crop up, they're like, hey, I'm Larry Bird. You know, there's white basketball players that can ball, but on the whole.
I remember listening to an episode of I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Radio Lab. It's something they do in New York City, and they did a difference between was black people racing and white people racing, and they didn't really find any major statistical difference between their times. So it was so this is like it was kind of saying like, well, black people are just in general faster, And it's like it wasn't necessarily true. So I mean, like people can view it that way, but a lot of times it's because
I gotta be honest with you.
There's so many conflating variables you got to look at in this kind of shit.
Yeah, I think way more woke nowadays. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably because like a lot of black people grew up in inner city areas where the only thing to do was like a little basketball court.
That's true.
Somewhere.
It's not like it's like you got to kind of live in a rural area to fucking have a football field. I mean, although they're black people do well at football too, so I don't know.
That's true. I don't know.
A lot of football players come from Louisiana, and of course, a lot of them are black.
Texas,
and
too.
You know, it's like a lot of them come from small, like rural towns, though. That's the thing.
Too.
Like,
Dude, I saw
Taylor actually grew up with, or in the same area as one, Dak Prescott, who plays for the Dallas Cowboys. He's from the same town, small town Taylor is.
So even though I am just I'm really delighted about this because of the people it will upset. But I do want to point out that this is just like empty corporate virtue signaling, like all these other corporations.
Oh, of course. No. Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't want to fucking
triggering.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I'm in it for. I'm in it for the triggering. But at the end of the day, this is just empty corporate gesturing bullshit. I mean, it's a good thing, I guess, ultimately, but NASCAR is I hate that we personify these corporations in this country to the point where we think that they have opinions and views other than just like, we like money. Hey, do we make more money being racist or being against racism? Oh, the anti-racist dollar is bigger now? Fuck racism. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. I was thinking about this the other day. Just the fact that, like, let's say white supremacy had won the day, and white lives matter. You go to Amazon to be white lives matter. Whatever was going to make them more money is what would be. Oh, it's better to be white.
Yeah.
Want some skin fairness cream? Like make your skin whiter. Like if that's what won the day ideologically, that's what the fucking corporations will be shoving down people's throats.
So they're just going along, but
Coca-Cola, drinking one makes you feel almost like being white.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Like they could have a Coke commercial where, like, there's a black dude and he's fucking all depressed because he's black. It's like, man, it sucked being black. And then he drinks the Coca-Cola and his skin turns white for a second. It's like, drinking Coke makes me feel Caucasian-tastic or some bullshit,
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Anyway, moving right the fuck on. Lawsuit accuses LDS. Oh, man, every time I see the LDS Church, I always want it to be the LSD Church. You know what I mean?
It's so close.
Yeah, just flip them 2 letters around.
Just replace all these weird, creepy elders with Timothy Leary's corpse and make it the LSD Church, and let's get it started.
Anyway, they were accused of not protecting two sisters from sexual abuse by Bishop.
So I think I pulled this one, and there's like a rash of this shit going on. There's like kind of been rash of these sex abuse cases against the LDS Church in the last 6, 8, 10 months.
I mean, yeah, it's really shocking. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is at the center of a lawsuit that claims the institution could have prevented 2 young girls from being sexually abused. The amended civil lawsuit filed in Santa Clara County Superior Court claims the church in San Jose could have prevented the abuse by a former bishop, Joseph Kniep. 72 is accused of sexually abusing 2 sisters, referred to as Jane Doe and Jane Doe 2 in the lawsuit. The sisters reportedly met the man when they enrolled in the church-sponsored program. Kniep was once the bishop of San Jose's Branham Ward in South San Jose. The lawsuit alleges Jane Doe was sexually abused by Kniep between 2009 and 2016, and Jane Doe 2 was abused between 2012 and 2016. He is currently facing criminal charges for child sex abuse in the Santa Clara County Superior Court. I want to know how the church protected him. The lawsuit names the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which oversees Branham Ward operations, stating it had a duty to protect the young girls from sexual abuse by church leaders. It stated Kniep inappropriately groomed the girls on church property. The family was especially trusting of Kniep since church members are taught that bishops are chosen by God to represent the ward. The church taught its members, including plaintiffs and their parents, that the bishop was chosen by God to represent the ward. As such, plaintiffs and their parents especially trusted Kniep, the document states. In his actual in his actual or apparent authoritative capacity as the Bishop of Branham Ward, Kneip repeatedly engaged in inappropriate grooming behavior with children during primary classes and on or around ward events, including allowing small children to sit on his lap and transporting plaintiffs and other young children alone in his vehicle to ward activities, the lawsuit alleges. Attorneys for Jane Doe's claim church leaders were aware of Kneip's. I keep saying Kneip. I feel like that's got to be wrong. No one's last name is fucking Kneip. Of Kneip's potential threat to children prior to the abuse. In either 2009 or 2010, the church was made aware that Branham Ward parent complained that Kneip was stalking her and her children and filed a restraining order saying she feared for their safety. As a result of that complaint, it is our understanding the church excommunicated Kneip and removed him from the position as bishop, but didn't bother to tell church members. So he was still regarded as a bishop or father of the ward, and parents were under the impression that it was safe for children to be around him.
It's the same. It's the same thing the Catholic Church does. Somebody makes the complaint because one of these priests abused a kid, and instead of defrocking the priest and kicking him out of the church totally and calling the fucking authorities and reporting it,
right,
they move him to another church and put him around a bunch of other kids.
In this case, they just kind of like quietly said like, okay, you're no longer a bishop, but they never bothered to tell anybody he wasn't a bishop anymore.
Officially, you're no longer a bishop, but we're not going to tell anybody. So pretty much...
So in the eyes of the community, you'll still be a bishop, but you're not a bishop anymore.
And if this dude was 72 years old, if he was a bishop for a long time, which I think it said he was, these were not the first children he'd abused.
I mean, obviously
he didn't
not.
just decide at 72 years old to start abusing his position.
You know what I always wanted to do? Abuse a child. Let me diddle some kitties.
Like,
come on, kitties.
Obviously, he's been doing it for a while. I mean, like, here's the problem with it. This is the same thing that happened in the Catholic Church. Same thing. It's happened in other institutions as well. But like especially when you set up someone as like, this is like a chosen by God person who is better than other people, who is more trustworthy than other people. You're gonna have that's gonna be very attractive to people who are like looking to abuse their power. Not only in this way, but in tons of different ways.
Well, don't you love how? Oh, go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say the uncomfortable truth is that this isn't a Mormon problem or a Catholic problem. It's a problem of religion. Anytime, as long as religion exists, that includes the type of rituals that exalt men over other men as being touched by God or being sent by God or being messengers of God, etc., which is common across all, Abrahamic faiths, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
As long as that exists, that type of religion, at least I'll say to be charitable, there are going to be people abusing children and abusing people in other ways, like financially abusing old people happens a lot in the church. So the religion is the fucking problem here. Like as long as because anytime you make a position where like your part of your position is you were exalted over other men. Like you're not the same as the people that you talk to and minister to.
Right. You're better.
You're touched by God.
You're the bishop.
In their eyes, it's like, this is a part of something that's very deep and personal to them, and it puts you in a fucking right position to abuse people in many ways and children. And it's going to keep happening as long as this type of religion exists, period. Because these fucking organizations are never, ever going to admit that there's a problem because it means the death of their organization. Like if the Catholic Church actually starts taking child sex abuse seriously, the world is going to be appalled at the amount of cases that start happening and the high level fucking priests that start being shown to have done not just child abuse, but all this other type of abuse, economic abuse in these areas, fucking prostitution and all this shit. So they don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. They're never going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like when you have,
they're not going to tug at the thread that gets them. I mean, like, because look, if they were actually to pull at the thread, if they were to look at the underlying root cause, it's basically they would have to get rid of the system that says we're special, we're better, we're something above you,
right?
And like that would just undermine the entirety of their religious institution,
right?
Which is why, to a certain extent,
it's not just a religious problem; it's like a fame problem too.
Oh yeah.
That's why a lot of famous people, end up getting caught.
I mean, like we've seen this
that.
happen in the fucking Boy Scouts. We've seen it happen in fucking sports and like so many institutions. Anytime it's like you're an authority, you're above other people, you're greater than the common person. That people start to fucking abuse that power.
Enough perceived power. Anytime you feel empowered to make decisions over other people. It's, we can go back. Everyone likes to say the standard prison experiment, but fuck that. Look at just real fucking life and examples you guys listed. It's organizations which we're told are basically bastions of morality. The church is impeccable. Oh, these things are great. All these wonderful, all this organization. And we see it all over this country. I see all over the world. The police. Anytime you give fucking people power over other people, it goes to their fucking heads, and they abuse that power. And unless there's a series of checks and balances, and there's accountability, and there's different ways to make sure that people who are vulnerable are not abused, they're going to be abused. And like humans have not been able to ever figure out a way not to do that. There's some people who act morally and ethically, but that's kind of the irony of it. Is we're told these are the things that are moral and ethical, when in fact when we actually investigate them, they almost never seem to be in any way of those things, or what most people I think would pass for actually a moral society or making ethical decisions.
I don't mean to make a blanket statement, but it's almost maybe that's because the entire fucking structure of their organization is based on bullshit and lies and fantasies from fucking 10,000 years ago.
Most of the fantasies are not quite that old, Paul.
Well, you get my
I know,
religion itself is older than that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean,
just belief in something else, like, oh, why did this happen? Because of this thing, and I can interpret that, so therefore you have to listen to me.
I mean, it's look, when it comes down to it, like even going beyond just religion, like hierarchical societal organization is always going to be rife with instances of those who are higher up on the ladder abuse. I mean, that's almost the point of being higher up than other people, is to take advantage of and abuse them. So, I mean, like, I don't know how we get rid of hierarchy in human society, because it predates human society. It exists in nature as well. Like the whole idea behind like the pecking order and stuff is,
I eat first, you eat second.
Yeah, I eat first, and if you try to eat out of turn, I'm gonna fucking peck you. So
if that's your goal, then one of the things that we would have to do as a society is tear down these incubator organizations for shit like this, like the fucking church. Like, that have to go. Otherwise, you're fighting a fucking uphill battle.
Yeah,
the church has to go.
I think it almost just goes beyond these institutions, though, because I feel like there's I feel like there's a natural predilection on the part of humans to organize in that manner. So I don't know if you can actually root that out. AI, yeah, the AI overlord, right?
That's why I push. That's another reason why I push for it. That really is. I mean, human fallibility is something that we need to overcome as humans at some point. I would rather trust a super fucking intelligent AI with these types of decisions, and also trust that AI isn't diddling the fucking choir boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know what? I think if this was the LSD church, you wouldn't have this problem.
Of course you wouldn't.
Some Vox Media websites go dark as hundreds of employees stage walkout to demand union deal. More of that solidarity we've been hearing so much about lately.
Hey, buddy.
More than 300 Vox Media employees staged a walkout on Thursday as staffers and management failed to come to an agreement for a union contract after more than a year of negotiations. The walkouts affected Vox Media's group of popular websites such as Vox, SB Nation, The Verge, Eater, Recode, Curbed, and others. And some were not publishing new content on Thursday. Our unit members are taking their sites dark today to show management how important these issues are to us, tweeted the account for the Vox Media Union. Another tweet included several photos of an empty newsroom with a union poster that said "Contract Now" on walls and on computer screens.
Are they congregating outside of Vox headquarters?
Not that I know of.
Or they just walked out and went home?
I think they just staged a walkout, I believe. But
I mean, like, I really support this action. I think it's like kind of heartening to hear that it's happening and stuff.
So let's take a look at some of these pictures of the empty office here.
without like the willingness to block scabs from coming into this building and just starting to write articles or to shut down the operation so that it couldn't be put, and automated articles couldn't be put out and shit. There's really not a lot of teeth to this walkout, unfortunately. To these people, if they want to keep their jobs. I mean, eventually, because here's the thing. Are there any Vox personalities who are just absolutely central to Vox? I don't know. I know I've seen Vox.
I'm not sure.
So what I'm saying is like ultimately these people are expendable to this corporation, and without the protection of a strong national union to provide more bodies to shut this place down.
Let's listen to this. It says Gordon said the staffers and management still had not to come to an agreement on 4 issues: salary minimums, guaranteed annual cost of living increases, severance agreement, and a plan for freelancers and contractors.
So these are all very standard things that workers should absolutely have access to.
Yeah.
And how many years they've been sitting down and bargaining since April 2018?
Yeah, it says they've been doing it for about a year, a little more actually.
So this goes to show you the obstinance of these fucking corporations, and I don't mean to go all fucking union. Because, I'm doing that over on Ideology. If you're interested in hearing me yammer about unions, go look at my last 3 or 4 ideologies and shit. But I won't go over the whole thing. But, like, this shows you the power that corporate has. They can be so fucking obstinate on such basic minimum things like an annual cost of living increase, a basic minimum payment so that people aren't getting taken advantage of, and some kind of corporate guaranteed protection for freelancers. I mean, this is a fucking journalistic organization. Those should already be there. And for 2 years now, these people have been sitting at the table with corporate, their friends, right? And they can't come to terms on this shit.
So here's what is being said here by Jim Bankoff, the chief executive.
I almost said bankrupt.
Jim Bankoff, chief executive of Vox Media. While I'm disappointed that the union chose to take this action in the midst of good faith bargaining.
Bullshit.
If it was good faith, it wouldn't
2018,
be. Yeah, like
2
it wouldn't
years
have taken
of good
this long.
faith bargaining. 2 years of digging your heels in and not making concessions and working these people,
especially
like
as progress was being made. I am still committed to promptly resolving all outstanding issues.
Yeah, written by his lawyer.
This is the standard fucking corporate line.
Okay, well,
standard line.
He said, we've instructed our bargaining team to ensure that while making ambitious values-based investments in our people, we don't undermine that goal by spending so far above industry norms that we create an unsustainable environment.
Bullshit.
Of course, we need to pay people competitively and fairly to attract the best people, to keep them, aka all of you. But we've stopped short of the union's insistence on levels that far exceed industry norms and averages. While paying people a lot more than market wages sounds great on the surface, it's not realistic or smart.
Jim Bancroft.
Because the industry averages and norms are dog shit.
Jim Bancroft, Vox Media net worth.
Oh, let's see.
I'm gonna find this out. Just give me a sec here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure he's poor, Paul. I'm sure he's,
I'm sure he's a pauper and just couldn't make a concession. How do you spell Bancroft? B-A-N.
It's bank off.
Bank off. That's my problem.
Bancroft.
Bank O-F-F. Just bank off.
Just bank and then off.
Jim Bank off.
Bank's in his fucking name,
Jim
dude.
Bank off. Net.
Bank off. The guy that ran away from the bank with all the money.
Okay.
Bank off.
Crunchbase. Let me see if this has it. This doesn't. Fuck. I hate these websites because we don't know for sure any of these guys. They don't really make their fucking shit public.
Yeah, I mean, unless there's someone that's running for like a public office.
Net worth 2018. 18 million in 2018.
18 million bucks
personally.
Yeah.
Now that's not the value of Vox Media as a corporation. Of course, it's significantly higher than that. Probably $200-400 million. But they can't make the now. TJ, can you go back to those pictures of the offices that have closed down?
Yes.
Just click on one and expand it for me because I just want to see. Like, this is not a tiny office, but we're not talking about tons of people here. So you're telling me this motherfucker that makes $18 million 2 years ago, I bet he made more last year, and he'll make more this year too. with a company that's probably worth $400-500 million conservatively can't pay the people that occupy this office a living wage? Because it would just be, we're getting into the territory where it's unsustainable. Fuck you. This is why. And see, I hate to say it because solidarity is awesome. I stand in solidarity with these people. And this also shows people like it's not just factory workers and, the people you normally like Teamsters and shit, the people you normally associate with unions that need unions. We have a new economy now. These are like tech workers. These are like they work for a website. They're journalists and tech workers and shit. They need union representation. And without the support of a strong national union, there's not a lot that these people can do to force this concession. Eventually, if they hold out long enough, Vox will just start hiring new people. And that'll be that.
Yeah, probably so.
And who's going to stop them?
I don't know.
Nobody.
But it's time to move on. The Chinese army has a weapon for fighting murder hornets. Flamethrowers.
Fuck yes. I don't really particularly like the Chinese regime, but this army has the right fucking idea when it comes to these giant murder hornets.
A new series of propaganda pictures out of China suggests that the People's Liberation Army Ground Forces, otherwise known as the Chinese Arm, is still using tried-and-true flamethrowers, an invention dating back to World War I. The PLA is one of the world's few holdouts, though. Their use against China's own murder hornets population might prompt the U.S. Army to break out its own flame projectors. According to the China Defense blog, the Chinese Army is keeping its flamethrowers just as it is, modernizing its force structure. Flamethrowers are still part of the table of organization and equipment for the combat engineering companies of the Army's new Combined Arms Brigade. Like the U.S. Army and other armies, the PLA is moving from larger divisions to smaller, more agile brigades. Flamethrowers were invented by the German Army, blah, 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 blah.
Dude, guys.
Yes.
I don't want to minimize how horrible things are right now because there's multiple fronts where shit is horrible and real hard for people. But do you guys feel it? Shit's starting to get metal. Dun, 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 dun. Do you feel it? Do you feel the double?
If it's getting metal, why did you just fucking started the Bonanza theme there? You were
I was thinking of I was trying to do the double bass.
Yeah, well, you started doing the Bonanza theme.
I'm feeling the fucking whatever. That's why China's beating America, man. We have fucking killer bees. Why are we not deploying the U.S. military right now with flamethrowers?
Yeah,
the population would be turning that shit on.
Fucking flames.
Yeah, is that a killer bee right there?
I mean,
burn that house down, dude. Our country would be fucking great again. You know about forget Trump, dude. Send the fucking military out with flamethrowers and show the population how we're gonna deal with this fucking look. We can't fucking keep you safe from COVID-19. We can't deal with racism. We can't deal with any of these important issues like the economy.
But you know what we can deal with? We can deal with these fucking murder hornets and killer bees and shit. We can deal with that. Start restoring the confidence of the fucking people of this country. Like, if people see, like, there was killer bees and now there's not any more killer bees, you're going to win the population back. Yeah, the flamethrowers might be the solution to all our problems.
What was that fucking cartoon band on Cartoon Network? The metal band?
Oh,
Metalocalypse. You're talking about Death Clock?
Death Clock, yeah. The world is starting to look like a Death Clock video.
Cool.
Think about it. Like all the shit that's on fire in cities and like soldiers with flamethrowers fighting giant wasps and shit. The world is starting to look like a Death Clock music video. Holy fuck. All tragedy aside,
the world's getting metal.
That's pretty metal.
The world's getting pretty metal, y'all. Let's see if
the world is becoming metal.
Israeli study points to nicotine as a potential therapeutic for COVID-19.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we're being encouraged to smoke now. I mean, everything is getting more metal.
There it is.
Smoking may offer some protection against the coronavirus, an Israeli study has found. The results support recent similar findings by researchers in France, China, and Italy, although a British study has found the opposite. Well, obviously that study is flawed. Noting that conflicting reports exist regarding the impact of smoking on the likelihood of contracting coronavirus, the Israeli team, led by Dr. Ariel Israel, It's pretty lame if you're named after your country. Like if you're like Paul America or something.
Paul America? Dude, that'd be an awesome name.
Dope.
I think it'd be dorky as fuck, but whatever.
If your name was TJ America, that'd be dope.
I would change it. Undertook a population-based study pulling in data from over 3 million adult members of the Clalit Health Service, Israel's largest healthcare provider. Their results presented in a non-peer-reviewed paper. Oh, that's kind of shaky. Published in MedRxiv, whatever, on Friday, found that the risk of infection by COVID-19 appears to be reduced by half among current smokers. Of the more than 3 million adults.
Let me just get my wrist down real quick here.
The researchers, anyway, the point is smoking's good for you.
Yay.
It's finally been definitively proven. Smoking cigarettes is good for your health. And all these people who've we don't like smoking or whatever.
Your friend Kovar was right, dude.
Yeah, smoking makes your lungs tough, dude. It really does.
Dude, we need to take some of these spaces back. We need to make smoking only zones.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, don't bring your COVID ass in here unless you got a cigarette lit. Like, stop making it these dark, damp places where we all have to huddle in fucking silence together and pretend we're not doing what we're doing.
Yeah, enough of this
Take
bullshit.
Some big old places and be like, smoking only. Light up if you're coming through here.
Yeah, like,
hell
no non-smokers allowed. Enough of your bullshit.
Yeah, you know the safest place would be? I'll think the safest place, man, outside of a sports arena. Now, I know people might think, hey, a lot of people gathering, but right outside of it during halftime. Or whatever the fucking break period is, dude, because every smoker goes out there, they're lining up trying to smoke. That's just like fucking basically the one place on the planet you will not get fucking COVID-19. If these studies are true, that's where you want to be. You're worried about that shit, you run up, just fucking breathe that fucking smoke. I mean, just get as much fucking of that nicotine vapor on you. People, you know what? Maybe we can start selling like nicotine wash and shit, dude. People are getting all fuck, dude. I'm gonna get my nicotine wash on. We got a whole industry around this, TJ. Whole industry, man. We're gonna fucking make millions, guys. Got a brilliant idea. If this shit fucking works,
let me just tell you something.
We're gonna be fucking billionaires. We're gonna go from saying crush the system to like maintain the status quo, please.
Let me tell you something very important, Scotty. You're 100% correct. Finally, for the first time in your life, I'm not embarrassed to call you my brother.
Finally.
So the day has come for you, Scotty. The day has come.
I mean, Paul, look, Paul, I know you have a lot of rhetoric, but if I hand you some buku bucks from our nicotine money, you're going to change your tune. You're going to be like, the people. I'll be like, Paul, here's a Lamborghini. But, Paul, here's a mansion.
I'm for sale, just like everybody is.
Yeah, Paul, here's a Lamborghini. You know what? The struggle of the proletariat has been greatly exaggerated.
Is that a Rolls Royce Wraith I see over there? Sorry, ideals and goals. I gotta go jump in that Wraith.
I got that nicotine COVID money. You can't blame me. Drive away into the sunset.
Man tormented by mystery pizza deliveries to his house for almost a decade.
If someone wanted to order me pizza and have it delivered to me over and over again, I'm fine with it.
It turns out there is such a thing as too much pizza.
Bullshit.
A Belgian man says he's been receiving mysterious pizzas that he never ordered for over a decade. While it may initially seem like an annoying prank, the victim says he's received so many pizzas over the years that he shakes every time he hears a scooter coming down the street.
Damn.
Jean Van Langenham, whatever. A 65-year-old resident of Turnhout says delivery drivers bring pizza to his door at all hours of the day and night. This is what I don't get. Like, you can contact local pizza places and be like, don't deliver to me. It's pranks. People like to send me prank pizzas, just
hire a lawyer. Just like a blanket fucking thing.
I mean, there's only so many pizza places that are like within delivery range of your house. Just call them all and be like, I don't want pizza. Don't fucking bring it here.
Yeah, I'm the victim of a prank. Never deliver pizzas to me again. Thank you.
While he mostly receives pizzas, other fast food items have also been included in the order. Oh, I guess that kind of fucking broadens it a little bit. One day, Langham reported he had 10 different delivery drivers come to his place on the same day. One of his deliveries was for 14 pizzas. I cannot sleep anymore. I start shaking every time I hear a scooter on the street. He told the local news outlet, I dread that someone will come to drop off hot pizzas yet another time. Adding another odd layer to the mystery is the fact that Langham's friends, who live 20 miles away, has reportedly also been suffering from similar mysterious deliveries. This has led authorities to believe the culprit must be someone the two men both know. Unfortunately, for now, the case remains a mystery. I don't buy this fucking story, man.
Oh, dude, someone
either.
Someone at the bottom is saying Fox News got punked. So
I think that they're right. I think that Fox News posted cringe here. I think they got suckered. So. I think they got suckered in.
I saw someone in the comments saying they got punked. Is there maybe some link to this saying this is untrue? Or... Okay, I searched online for the story, and pizza places are sending them out, which is ridiculous. Hey, I wonder if we can actually, see if you can search for the story and find any other source for this, TJ. Because I just truly, I mean, it's too difficult than whatever. But
this is so stupid. Yeah, this is just bullshit. I'm not even gonna do research. I'm just gonna declare that this story is false. Like, it doesn't pass the smell test.
I'm gonna say it's more than likely false. I have not actually seen evidence.
I mean, like,
shows
there's just so many things you could do to mitigate this. Like, you could fucking contact the fucking food delivery services in your area.
Here's the other thing too. If those people were constantly getting orders for this guy's house, you don't think they would eventually go like, wait a minute, this guy's told us that
they're not going to just endlessly make pizza and bring it to this dude's house and him be like, I don't have money I'm not paying for this. I didn't order this. Like, they're not going to just keep doing it.
Wait. Where's this guy from?
Belgium.
Oh, Belgium. Okay, I was gonna say if he's from I mean, I don't know if the Belgians are like the Dutch, but man, Dutch people want to be paid up front. So it's like it'd be one thing. It's like it'd be hard to believe. Like, sure, you pay when you get the food. I've heard that definitely happens, but some places you pay in advance.
So I'm just like, I just have my notebook in front of me here, and this is my handwriting, and I don't know what the fucking context this is, but apparently at one point I just for like whatever reason wrote Yoda roasts in Jedi hell.
What?
I don't know.
I just think Yoda's in Jedi hell.
I don't even know the context where I wrote that, but I just looked down at my notebook.
You're like, such a Salvador Dali, TJ.
Yoda roasts in Jedi hell. I'm just like, I don't know.
You can't help but create haikus and poems, TJ.
Is it a poem? Yoda, a true thinker in Jedi hell.
It might be the beginnings of a poem.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that going somewhere.
I just want to know why you think Yoda is in Jedi hell.
I don't. I don't even think Jedis have a hell.
You wrote it, TJ.
I guess I did. I don't remember why.
Such an enigma.
Biden.
Such an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
Wrapped in a mystery. Nestled in a paradox. It's like crazy.
Snuggled up against a conundrum.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting fist fucked by an illusion. I don't know. Biden delivers address at George Floyd's funeral in Houston. We can't turn away, says Joe Biden. This is a Paul story. Why'd you pull this prosaic bullshit?
Because Joe Biden wouldn't stop to take a fucking piss on a black man burning in the middle of a street and couldn't give shit less about this struggle, as is evidenced by his crime bill that he knew would be exponentially harmful to black people in comparison to the general population.
Well, what I've heard said about that is I've seen some apologists defending that. They basically said that the Black Caucus of Congress and everyone along with that, and everyone actually liked that bill, and Biden was actually fighting against the more extreme elements of that bill. Even though the bill did introduce the 3 strikes law, which is famous for people going to jail for stealing a slice of pizza. They go to prison for 30 years.
So that even if that's the case, I don't know that Biden has done much other than exploit the goodwill of black people, especially in this fucking election season. Like, he's not. He came out immediately against Minneapolis's decision to abolish fucking its police department and replace it with something else.
That's true.
So, he knows that would likely help black people in a lot of communities, and that a movement towards that would be fucking great for black people.
That would help everyone.
And he's immediately against it.
Great for everybody.
He's immediately against it while people are being beaten in the street over George Floyd. And here he is speaking at George Floyd's fucking funeral like he's a friend of black people.
We must not turn away.
Yeah, it's like to me, like whatever. And I understand, like black people have this thing with Joe Biden. Some of them do, obviously not all of them, but because he was Obama's VP and Obama was so important to them, and I understand why he was. Like, even if he fucking sucked as ultimately as a Democrat, he was the first black fucking president. That's always going to be special to black people. And here's his VP. But man, if they looked under the surface of that, they're not going to find a fucking person that spent his life trying to make the world better for black people, and certainly not his recent political fucking life.
To me, there's a number of troubling examples. The segregation talk, the tough on crime. Let's cut.
There's some
Security.
quote from Biden that I read from some speech he made, and in his defense, it was from a long time ago. Although I'm for dropping that, because you can never find a Bernie quote like this. But he was like talking about how he didn't want his kids to grow up in a racial jungle.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want my kids growing up in a jungle, like a racial jungle.
Right.
This is a dude that if he's grown as a person and he's not as racist, but he's still a fucking racist in my opinion.
I mean, the problem with any sort of like I've grown and changed from a politician is that, yeah, maybe you have, but like, what assurance do we have? Because
if
we know that you just say whatever you think is going to get you votes. It's the same problem I have trusting anything a corporation says, because they have a fucking ulterior motive.
And I don't know, maybe he gave a great speech and maybe it healed the hearts of black people who need it right now. And I'm not trying to step in front of that. I pulled this because, and I understand in the new hierarchy of things that my white opinion on this doesn't matter a whole lot. And I'm fine with that. But for me, Joe Biden is the last person that should have been speaking at fucking George Floyd's funeral. Well, maybe not the last person. I guess the head of the KKK is still out there. I guess Trump is still alive. You know what I mean?
But
like
actual avowed racist. Yes. Of course,
why not get an actual fucking person that knew George to do this, or actually get, somebody who has fought for racial justice their whole life to do this and has credibility as a person that's put it on the line for black people.
It's almost like they had one candidate. They had this candidate. What the fuck was his name?
Herbie Hancock or something like that.
Samson.
I can't remember now.
Famous for him getting arrested.
The
civil rights movement of the last.
Went to a bunch of civil rights protests, marched with Martin Luther King, etc.
Had actual credibility in this movement. I can't remember his name. Sorry, guys.
Herbie Hancock, I think, or something like. I know it's not Hancock. It's something like that, but I'm pretty sure it's Herbie.
Yeah, it was definitely Herbie.
No, I mean, it's just whatever. Like I said, I don't want to take away if his words healed a heart or whatever the fuck. I'm not trying to get in front of that, but fuck Joe Biden. He's a piece of shit. And ultimately, in his heart of hearts, I genuinely believe he probably doesn't give much of a shit about black people. He's certainly not willing to stand with them to the level that they need to be stood with in order to stop the type of shit that's going on right now in black communities, especially when it comes to fucking police. I'm not going to be shocked if Joe Biden picks Cop Mala for VP.
That's my. I 90% believe that was going to happen. I feel like that was definitely. I feel like that's almost a fucking certainty. Someone said I said that to somebody and they were like, that wouldn't be wise or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? This is the Democratic Party we're talking about. That wisdom is not a factor here.
Yeah. What do you mean? That wouldn't be wise?
With everything going on in the country now, it's basically the Democratic Party's race to lose. And if we're just being honest, we're looking at, look, people can't get over confidence. Oh, man, it's a 100% thing. 'Cause obviously, people thought that about, Hillary, but the circumstances are a lot different. The protests we've seen, people being more mobilized, high unemployment, obviously the economy not doing so well. Pandemic disease, a catastrophic for the U.S. government to protect the population. There's so many things that, have come under the Trump administration's watch, so it's very difficult.
You know what we should get?
To imagine that they would not, win the election.
We'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit more as the production goes on here. But we need a fucking song that's just like plebs get out. You know what I mean? Like we can just play at this middle point because plebs get out. Get out. I don't know if you plebs know this. This is a 2-hour show.
It needs to be like one of those Irish punk songs. Plebs get out. Plebs get out. Something rowdy and raucous.
Yeah, it's definitely got to have that. If anyone out there is a musician, I know some of you are. Fucking make a plebs get out song, because it's time for the plebs to go. This is a 2-hour show, but the first hour is for the plebs, but the fucking second hour, and everybody else too. But the second hour is just for our beautiful, wonderful, intelligent, sexually attractive patrons only.
Truth.
Plebs, you gone.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.